Today is Sunday, September 25th at 2 p.m.
Let's have a race again!
And tomorrow will be September 26th, and at 2 p.m. the shadow will be right there, so we're one day short. That is a really cool bicycle. So, on September 26th at 1400, the shadow lands right here. September 26th. Today this is the 25th, so it's one day short. On September 21st at 2 p.m., the tip of the shadow is right here. Mr. MB3 is making something similar where he puts just a little pole on the ground and measures it each day. J-Dreamers has explained that when the sun gets above the tropics, sorry, this is kind of a little distracting. It's a Biobot transceiver impulse that they were driven to do what they do. So, all of these spots, October 6th, 12 p.m. Let's go along one of these. October 1st, 12:15. October 1st, 12:30. October 1st, 12:45. As you can see on October 1st, the tip of the shadow follows this yellow line. October 1st, that would be 1:30. This one is March 1st, 12:45, 1 o'clock, 1:15. On March 5th, the tip of the shadow follows this line. This pertains to the last video in my lineup where I show you an artificial device in the sky creating the appearance of what we look at and think of as a sun, when it's actually a bright LED torch with a Fresnel lens. And that may be up there in order to make sure the shadows stay in the right place. There are 4 of these figure 8 patterns where the sun falls on May 26th, May 21st, May 16th. About every week they've got a plotted point, May 11th, May 7th, and a specific time of day when the shadow falls on that specific spot. April, May 1st, May 7th, May 11th, May 16th, May 21st. And each one of them has a date and a time, right down to a 15-minute increment of when the shadow is going to be there. So the shadow has already moved. It was on the line here, September 26th at 2. But in the last 5 minutes, it's moved that way a little bit. So let's go over here to the diagram that explains what this whole thing is. Oh, let me back up here real quick and show you. There are 4 of these figure 8 patterns with a big loop on that end and a small loop on this end. Likewise, there's one over here. Small loop on this end, big loop on the other end. One right here, small loop on this end, big loop on that end. And here's the 4. There might even be 5 of them. And honestly, I'm not even sure how all this works. I'd have to study it a little closer. My point is, Mr. MB3 is doing the same measurements in his backyard by putting a little toilet paper roll on the ground and measuring the length of the shadow. And said he'll be doing so every day, or at least every video or every week or whatever in the near future. And J-Dreamers says that once the sun goes beyond the tropics, the northernmost latitude and the southernmost latitude that they go for the season, that's when it goes a little wacky. So, these diagrams go in order. Number 1, the sun is high in the summer sky and low in the winter sky. Summer sky, winter sky, and it shows you how it crosses and leaves the shadow on the ground using the tip of that obelisk. Part 2. The Earth remains tilted on its axis as it circles the sun each year. This makes the sun appear high during the summer and low during the winter. Opposite sun angles occur in the southern hemisphere, giving it opposite seasons. New Park surveyed shadows by the granite octagonal obelisk from June 2008 to June 2009 to create a sun calendar. So all of these little metal spots are just where the obelisk happened to land from 2008 to 2009. So if it was already out of its orbit, then it's marking... Anyway. To compensate for the Earth's 365-day and a quarter circuit around the sun, the obelisk peak is lowered 1 inch each non-leap year, then raised 3 inches each leap year. That would be the 4th year. Every 4 years we got a leap year. The plaza is marked with lines showing where shadows mark the hours 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. during daylight savings time, every day of the year, creating a sun calendar. Discs mark various exact times and dates that are shadowed at each disc's location every year at the noted time and date. Light-colored lines and discs show the June 21st to December 22nd times and dates. Dark-colored lines and discs show the December 22nd to June 21st times and dates. The circular patterns of light and dark lines result from the different positions of the sun relative to the Earth as Park City heads towards winter versus towards summer. A black line marks the March 22nd and September 21st equinoxes. Other discs have been placed to mark specific time and date combinations. Every year, the obelisk's shadow will hit each disc at the time and date noted. Swanner Eco Center will place additional donor discs in the plaza over the years to support and preserve and maintain the plaza. I will include this link in the description. Video number 147 by Tree of Knowledge, titled Double Shadows Reveals More Than One Light Source, where she shows that she has more than one shadow on this particular day, and so does everybody else that walks and drives by.
Shadow above it. So when I'm walking, I've got a double shadow, which is completely impossible, except for there's more than one lighting source. What in the world? How is that right? Look, I've got a complete double shadow. Look, everyone that passes me has a double shadow too. I'll go over here, and you can see it on the grass. There's a double shadow. Here come some people. And I'm just going to film. Yep. Their shadows go all the way up to the fence line. It's the craziest thing. I've got a double shadow going on. It's crazy. It's a double shadow. You can see it walking with me. I'll go back a little bit. Oh my God, the further I go back, the higher the shadow goes on top. Okay, that's seriously weird. So that should be enough so you can see the double shadow. And they've got double shadows too as they're walking. So it's not just me. Okay.
And this will also be linked in the description. I made a video on it just the other day showing you the two light sources in the sky that create those two shadows. Along with the two lens flares. And this all may be in order to try to maintain semblance of sanity and calm and routine daily experience for people, because if they had shown people the plasma fire I've documented for the last 4 years, that would be the end of the world as we know it. It would be the end of the calm before the storm. And so this technology to keep the sun appearing as if it's in its normal place Could be an attempt by those who are in the know of what was to come to try to prolong the calm before the storm. What storm, Mr. Trump? You'll see. Remember when Trump said, "Hey, this looks like this might be the calm before the storm"? One of the reporters asked, "What storm, Mr. Trump?" He said, "You'll see." Maybe they're just trying to prolong the calm before the storm, because if people see that the sun is not where it's supposed to be, that's it. We're done. Just so happens, in the suggestion box below, The Shortening of Days by J-Dreamers, I included clips of that in one of my recent videos. So for those who haven't been keeping up, remember this is a limited time offer while supplies last, and you can't play catch up on this stuff. You gotta be educated along the way. There is no making up for lost time when it comes to paying attention to what's happening in the world around us. But I made a video showing that sun simulator that we just looked at a day ago, titled Sun Gun in HD. I made a couple of videos titled The Sun is a Deadly Laser and The Shortening of Days. That's where I included clips from J-Dreamer's video titled Shortening of Days. I made a video here showing you how the clouds appear and disappear over my head in ways that are impossible for clouds to do, because humidity, temperature, and pressure do not fluctuate that much on a localized level in order to go from cloud production to cloud dissipation. Back to cloud production, back to cloud dissipation. Back to cloud production, back to cloud dissipation. If it's just humidity, temperature, and barometric pressure, as they say the forces are that are involved in creating clouds and dissipating clouds, then there is no way that can happen on a localized scale right above my head. And a while back, I made videos, the ones that I made that included Sonia from Tree of Knowledge and her double sun video, was this one. Black sun emits UV light and creates two shadows, Decloaking Space Force Part 3. And you can see what's right there by Mr. MB3's head, a black sun. Or a purple or ultraviolet sun. That's what they call a black light. Likewise, stop. Then the morning comes. When the sun comes up, we're always out of luck. Decloaking Space Force Part 4. Those are two lyrics from songs. When the sun comes up, we are always out of luck. There's no room for us here. It's a cold-blooded love. It's a cold-blooded love. It's a cold-blooded love. When the night draws near, we are animals of fear. Feel so cold inside my head. What night are they talking about? What sun coming up are they talking about? Maybe the one right here on his shirt titled, called the Black Sun, that we saw on the armband of the Azov Battalion. You know, over there in Ukraine, Slava Ukraine. And this guy is who we saw in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, when they said we busted a bunch of guys that were going there to disrupt a pride parade, and we pulled them out of the back of this U-Haul and stopped them dead in their tracks. Bigfoot land. The Black Sun. So if they create a bunch of distractions, like, oh, I don't know, COVID, a worldwide distraction to keep you from seeing what's really going on, like, oh, I don't know, the plasma fire and all the trees burning from the inside out, or when there's a magnetic fluctuation in the magnetic field that leads to a surge of ground current induction, as suspicious observers calls it. When it hits the forest, it just burns the trees from the inside out. But when it hits an urban area, it burns the houses to the ground and leaves the trees standing and melts the engine blocks and the glass and the door handles and the rims off the cars. Maybe to keep you from noticing all of that, they've gone to great lengths to create local distractions. One great big festering neon distraction. I have a suggestion, is to keep you all occupied. Learn to swim. That's from the song Anima, that's talking about the end of the world. And they have created one great big festering neon distraction, brilliantly designed to keep you all occupied. From COVID to the fake sun simulator to keep you from seeing what time it is. Some say a comet will fall from the sky, followed by meteor showers and tidal waves. And that's why they have these world wars that are ramping up. Oh no, Russia, China, the United States, we're about to go to war. So if you hear any big booms, that was part of the war. And if you see shit in space, well, that's part of the secret space war. Some say a comet will fall from the sky, followed by meteor showers and tidal waves, followed by fault lines that cannot sit still, followed by millions of dumbfounded dipshits, and some say the end is near. Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. Certainly hope we will. I sure could use a vacation from this stupid shit. So, millions of dumbfounded dipshits I've lost a lot of respect for over the last 4 years while I'm trying to show them that their world is burning from the inside out and they have more important things to pay attention to, and they're willing to follow wherever just like a dog, squirrel, wherever you put the shiny bauble, that's where they look and that's what they focus their attention upon. They can't be bothered to see the fucking world around them burning from the inside out. They're too distracted by the neon, colory, flashy baubles around them. One great big festering neon distraction. So yeah, those millions of dumbfounded dipshits, fuck them. Keep them in the dark. As long as you possibly can. Because they are dangerously stupid. In their blissful ignorance, wanting to remain blissfully unaware of anything going on around them that would discomfort them. Give them comforting notions to keep them distracted. They are not equipped to handle the truth. For those of you that are, that sundial that we just looked at, I wonder why they placed that there in 2008, 2009. Maybe they knew the thunderbolt of the gods is going to be here real shortly, and just prior to that, things go wacky and haywire, and they want to be able to point to that sundial and say, look, the sun, the shadow's right where it's supposed to be. The sun is right where it's always been. The sun simulator is, anyway. The one up here that keeps that shadow where it's supposed to be. In major metropolitan areas. Doesn't matter if a few goat herders in between those major metropolitan areas can see that the sun is out of alignment with the Fresnel lens. What matters is that those in the big metropolitan areas by great numbers have the lens and the sun simulator in alignment with one another, because it doesn't matter if a few people here and there catch on or know the truth. We're trying to keep as many possible in the dark for as long as possible. So it would stand to reason that making a sun simulator, an artificial sun in the sky, to keep everything looking copacetic like it's all business as usual for as long as we can, will give us a longer time to make our preparations and get the fuck out of here before they even know what's happening. As in the movie 2012 when they hopped on the ships like Noah's Ark. As in the CEO exodus that just happened over the last few years. Yeah, that's what's happening, Captain, and that's what time it is.